Hello everyone, it's Sneaky Batgirl D'Angelo here for The Addicted Gamer. Yes, The Addicted Gamer, not Star Citizen Addict Anonymous, but rest assured, this is definitely going to be a sci-fi type game. This game is called Planetbase, and in today's world, this does have something to do with what might be going on in the next 5 to 7 to maybe 10 years as we start moving towards sending a manned mission to Mars. So this isn't what's going to happen in that first mission, but this is what we've all hoped that we can do over time with colonizing Mars. And this is a game that I found on Steam called Planetbase, and it really is a cool game. It's kind of like one of those old tycoon style games. I used to play the theme park games and theme hospital, and then the roller coaster tycoon games. And this is real-time strategy. You really have a lot of puzzle pieces to it. There's been some updates to it since release. It had some mixed reviews in the beginning, but I've actually been very successful in being able to get bases over 100 people. Now, understand that this is not just a game where you plop things down. You have to have a strategy. So let me start off this series, which will be called Let's Play Planetbase with Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo. Actually, let's just call it Let's Play Planetbase. And we will start off by going to the easiest planet, which is a Class D planet, which is kind of like Mars. In fact, looks almost identical to Mars, does it not? Okay, so we're just going to pick any area. You don't have to even move this. I'm going to call it Zulu Base, and we'll start talking about the game as time goes on. Actually, let's call it Zulu Station, okay? We're going to start the game. Now, the game is going to start with a cinematic of our colony ship landing, so I'm going to let that happen. Now, I have the graphics cranked up to as high as I can. I have a 970 with 4 gigs of RAM. So here come our base inhabitants, the pioneers. We have 3 workers, 2 biologists, 1 engineer, 1 medic, 1 construction bot, and 1 carrier bot, and that's going to be very important. First thing I want you to do whenever you start this game is just look around real quick and see where you can start a really quick base. You don't want to start right here. You want to start close to something. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start my base right here. Now, the basic elements of the base, you need to have oxygen. I'm going to plop this down, and then I'm going to start building the elements that need it and start explaining things. This is kind of the balancing act game that you have to play. You have to have enough resources being produced, extracted, enough resources being changed into materials that you could use, and you have to have enough food to feed your inhabitants. That's going to be the balancing act that you have to play here. So with the oxygen chamber that we have, we need 2 things. We need power and we need water. And then we are going to need to have something very important, which is going to be a place to store our power. So these are the 3 most important things to start off with first. All right. They always will build the last thing that you tell it to build. So that's why I'm going here and putting my airlock down last, because it's going to be important. I'm going to put my airlock right there. And the reason I built it right here is eventually we're going to need a mine, and we're going to want that mine to be as close to the airlock as we can make it. So that's why we did the construction in the way we did. Alrighty, so we got things working pretty well here. Alright, we've got the main elements of our base coming along pretty well. I'm now going to build the next piece, which, well, I'm going to let them build the airlock first because that's very important. There they go. They're going to be able to get their oxygen now. Come on, get it up and running. And they did. So the next piece is going to be a place that we could get water. Now I'm going to use this as a hub in a few, and I want to go in that direction too. So I'm going to move this off to this direction right here. I'm going to click on it. and I'm going to build it. This is a canteen. This is where people can get water and food. Very, very important. You'll notice I didn't build too far away from my colony ship. That way, as they're moving things back and forth, they can go quicker. Now, I'm not explaining as much right now, and I'll slow down after the 3 most important things that we have to build are done. And they're going to be oxygen. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, that didn't hit anything, but meteors do fall, and meteors are falling in this iteration of the game a little bit more often than they should. Alright, we're going to take off the domes with this, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to click this little edit button up here, click on the place, click on the edit button, and we need to create water for people. We need to create a food place for people, a place to sit, and most importantly, we need to create a little bit right over here, something that will give people... There we go. Those things should be fine. Alright, so we have all of the basic necessities done. Well, not really. We're missing a couple of major things. So they built water first, so people are going to come in here. They're going to get their water so they don't die. Good job. Let everybody have a chance at getting water. Come on, everybody. Good job. Everyone have your water. Come on, next person. Good. Drink. Nobody die, please. Nobody die. Keep going. Keep going. All right. After they're done getting their water, we now have to build the place that they are going to live in. And you have 2 choices over here. We can't create a cabin. They're not going to let you. But this is the most preferred way for people to sleep because everyone gets their own bed and they're happier. But in the beginning, you have to build a dorm room. We're going to build it over off in this distance. And the reason that we're going to put it over here is because it is an end compartment. Whenever you have a dorm room or a cabin, it's not going to have any other spokes on it like something like this. It's going to have one connection because they don't want people walking through the dorm room to get to your, well, they don't want you waking you up when you're sleeping. So this first episode is going to be about creating a self-sustaining colony. And you're going to need a number of things to do that. And in most of the videos that I've done, I've keep forgetting about things, specifically about the landing pad. So there's a number of things that you need. We have the 3 main ones. Well, actually 4 main ones. We have oxygen, we have power and water, and then we have food, and we have a place to sleep. So that's 5. Oh God, I can't count. We're going to drop a couple of beds to start off with. Oh, if I can actually just do this. 2 glasses of wine, and I cannot get this done. Alright, so we've dropped 2 of the beds, and we don't want to drop too many more because we still have things that we have to do. Alright, the second piece that we're going to be bringing off of this area over here is going to be a way to get food to them. Alright, and that's going to be through 2 things. The first thing is we're going to need to build some plants. So we are going to build what they call a biodome. We're going to build that in this direction right here. Alright. And just because we have to, we're also going to build a wind turbine here because we need 2 forms of power collection. And we need another capacitor. And then now we should be done with our power grid for now. I'm actually going to put this right here. And I won't build that second connection yet. Alright. Pretty good so far. Alright. Now we can go in this direction. We can go in this direction. And we can go in this direction. We're going to be hampered by this right now. Alright. So we have our biodome. And now we can create some food items and some other items that we're going to need. The red items across the middle are all food. The items across the top are all food and starch. Then you have medicinal plants, pine trees, and you have some things that you have to actually wait for somebody to sell you the patent for. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is build tomatoes, okay? build rice. Those two things are important. And then build, I'm going to say build wheat. You're going to need these things more than anything. Don't build anything else right now because they take bioplastic to build. And you don't really want to waste that just yet. Now, this area over here is going to have a biologist working in it, and he needs to do something with the plants that he grows. So you're going to need a lab to do something with those items. So normally I'd have more room over here, but they put me in a kind of tight location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say build the lab in this direction over here. And that's what we're going to do. So the lab comes off of here. So as they build these items over here, they get walked over here. And everything should be honky-dory, okay? All right, now we need our workers to go and find some things to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a mine. We're looking for the things that we need to build right there. Good job. And we're only building one connection at first. All right, I want to point out the base at this point. We're not self-sustaining yet, but we have a place to eat, a place to sleep. We're building food. Believe it or not, the lab is going to help us build food too. We're getting metal. And now we start to have a couple of issues with what we do next, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to click on our lab. I'm going to produce two things. This is a tissue synthesizer. They actually create some kind of synthetic meat that's going to be combined with the vegetables to create meals. This over here is a workbench, and we will build this in a little while. We have a lot of medical supplies right off the bat, and if we use this, we're going to use a bioplastic, which is going to be very important right now. So we have some sustainability right now, but the minute this goes online, it's going to start drawing more water. So we're going to need one more water extractor, and we should be fine. And you'll notice that I'm keeping a web here. And there'll be a lot more things here in a few moments. All right. We're looking pretty good. We now need to be able to put a place or get a place that's going to store the ore and store these things. So you see how they're collecting on the floor over here? We're going to need something called a storage area. So we're going to come off of here, and we can't see this because this is in the way. So we're going to go up this way. Okay, so we're going up in this way. So we can go and we can bring something through here eventually. All right. We're looking pretty good so far. Now the storage area is important because once this gets going, we're actually going to do something weird. We're going to recycle our ship. And then all these people are going to start moving things into the storage area, and we can start building in this direction. And it's going to be very important that we have all of the options available to build in this nice big direction over here. All right, with this build of it, the meteors drop often. So what we're going to want to do at some point, not early on, but in our secondary, like early on, we want to build a self-sustaining economy, a self-sustaining colony, but right after we have that, we want to build something that could protect ourselves. So it means that we're going to need more power, more water, and it means that we're going to need a laser to shoot down all those meteors that are crashing into us. All right, we've got that going, and now it's time to do the unthinkable. We are going to be stuck on this rock forever, so we don't need the ship, but we need the components that are in it. We recycled the ship. So one wind turbine is not enough to get through most nights. And that is definitely 100% for sure. And I'm going to tell you that you should always have two. So I suggest putting another one somewhere that isn't near this one, because you're going to want to have something that could withstand a impact of one of those meteors that fall. All right, this is all the resources we have right now. So we need to start thinking about how do we keep those resources going? Well, we're building, I should say we're extracting ore over here, okay? We're getting our plants over here to give us food and starch. Well, we have to process that into something that could actually work for us. All right, okay, now we have self-sustaining power. Not only are we drawing power, but we're creating enough at times to get us through the night. At least that's what's supposed to happen. We're going to lose power. Let's get back to, okay, good. We're fine right now. All right, good. All right. Are we going to make it? Yeah, we did. Okay, good. All right, so now we have to start thinking about taking the resources that we're pulling out of the ground, the resources that we're building here, and we want to create what they call a processing plant. And that's going to be right here. And I'm going to want it to go in this direction over here, off of the storage area. Okay, you notice how I hub a lot of my items off things? And you'll notice how I have a hub down in this direction. Well, I have two things I could put in this direction, but I don't want to do it right off the bat because anything I do in this direction is going to cause this to cease to exist. Oh, there's a sandstorm coming. We want to get everybody inside. Sandstorms will start to reduce people's... this is going to force us to build something I didn't want to build right off the bat, and that's going to be the med bay. I'm going to build a med bay off of this over here, the oxygen generator. I didn't want to do that this early. But we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it. Alright. If I build that off of there... I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to come down this way. I think I am. Oh, I didn't want to go off of anything. I wanted to go off of this. That's actually a good place to put it. Alright. So we're letting our guys go and get things done. Alright, this is a processing plant. In the processing plant, you can build three things. You can build bioplastic, which is a necessity. Well, you can build two things. I am sorry. You can build two things. You could build bioplastic and you can build metal. Alright, we got that going. Alright, good. Bioplastic is a necessity because almost everything that you can build, like medicines and all of the glass structures, like these things over here, are going to take bioplastic. And you're going to have to be able to create that yourself. Right now, we only have bunks for 4 people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this and create another 2 bunks because I want to be able to have almost everybody that's in our group be able to sleep. Now this is dangerous with how often meteors are hitting. You could literally have all 6 people in here, all 7 people in here, and a meteor hit this and kill your whole colony early in the game. They're working on AI. They're working on the challenges that you have. You see this guy? Broken leg. That's what happened in the sandstorm. So that's why I wanted to create this early on. Alright, we have most of everything that we need to build a self-sustaining society, which is the first part of this game. We're missing 2 elements. We're missing a factory, which we're going to build in this direction up here. The factory is going to create spare parts. Well, we built this wonderful power grid over here, which is going to degrade over time. You'll notice that it's in excellent condition, but look at this one over here. We built this first. It's still in excellent condition, but it's degrading. Same thing over, well, not so much over here, but it is degrading. So our engineer and our construction bot are going to be sent out there periodically to bring these things called spare parts to get them working. We have quite a number of spare parts, but they are limited in number. So we need to build a plant to be able to create those, and that's called a factory. I'm going to draw the factory up over this way, and I'm going to move it out just a little as far as it could go because I want to bridge the gap between here and the next area that we're going to move into. Okay. Pretty nice so far. Alright, there's only one thing after that we have to build a self-sustaining society, and that's going to be the spare parts facility inside. Well, I'm not going to stop at that because we have one medic, we have one engineer, and we have one construction bot. And if any one of them die or fail, we're not going to have a colony for long. So what we're going to want to do is, while we have prestige, while we show people that we are actually making it, we're going to want to build a landing pad. I know it's early, and some people say don't do it this early, but the game in its current state, you have to do that. So we've got most of the things going on here. What I'm going to do down in this direction is I am in the lab going to drop this at this point. Okay, it says spares. Good, there's our spares. An engineer works that. A worker works these items in here. Ooh, we're going to need more power. That is not a good thing. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Alright, we've got 4 metal. Before we do anything else, we're going to need to build another wind turbine, which will take 2. We've got 2, 3. Yeah, we need to build another wind turbine. You want to have 3 wind turbines for every one of these, or a extra large wind turbine for every one of these. This is a solar panel. It takes a while for them to wake up. It should be waking up momentarily. Ooh, that was close. So we got those 2 things online. What I'm going to do is build that other wind turbine, and I'm going to build it in this general direction over here. Keeping my grid separate from each other is important. I have a grid over here, I have a grid over here. And the other piece to this would be to see if I can fit a power collector in this area. I can. I normally put these things together, but I'm learning to fill them in the empty spaces, because this build, which is 1.4, they took away solar flares, but they made sandstorms and meteors a lot less rare. They happen often. I should say a lot more common. So it's very important to have a store of electricity in a different area. You'll notice that at night you get more wind early on in the game. And we're going to need these 3 wind plants to do things. We have people going to sleep. Where's CNT? We have this guy hurt and nobody helping him. Where is our medic? Where is our medic? That's our worker. Where's our worker? Oh, that's our engineer. He's going to come over here and start building these things. There's our secondary power collector. Okay. Come over here. Let's get this other turbine up and running. One more. Come on. Ah. He almost got to everything. If he just did that, we would be okay. Well, there's our carrier bot. That's CR1. We have some ore sitting over here. Alright, what's going on over here? We have our carrier bot. We're just trying to get to this last little bit, which is where we build our... Okay, we have the wind turbine built. That's good. Alright, now we're going to start filling up. Let's get this done. Let's fill it up. Okay, We've got quite a number of things in here, so we're fine. We're keeping our people fed. Those are very close. Alright, we've got metal being worked on. What do we have in here right now? Okay, we have that done. We're going to build our... Alright, we've got everything going. We're going to drop down our landing pad. We want to get some other people coming here, so we're going to put this right here, which isn't too far. This is going to be a way we can double connect the grid right there. So it's not going to be too far from our airlock over here. Alright, and it's not going to be impeding our expansion in this direction. Alright, so we built the connection over to it. Now all we need is 4 metal. We've got more than enough spares. Whoa! What the hell? You see where that landed? Right over here. This is going to mean... This build of the game means you have to be very diligent very early on to get this done. Because like I was saying, it's very possible you're going to lose people early on in the game from a random hit anywhere on your base. Alright, so let's take a look at who we have. We have CR1. We have Tawny Blair as a worker. Let's slow down so we can get who we have. We have CNT2. We have Tawny Blair, who just came back in after they went out. We have CR1. We have Claudio Maxwa. I feel like I'm playing The Sims sometimes when I do this. Tawny Blair's been on our radar quite a bit. Our guy must have gotten taken care of by the medic over here. Oh, who is this? That's our medic, BD Barrett. Okay. So our carrier bot just goes out and picks up all the resources and brings them back. We need somebody producing our metal. We're at 54%. We need 4 metal to produce this, and we're done. Well, you know, folks, it's gone long enough. Just so you know, this is the way that you start the game. I'm going to continue this in the next episode. So we've got the startings of a base. Let's see how it goes next time. So thanks for joining me today, and I will be back soon with the next episode of Let's Play Planetbase.